Welcome back, everybody. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, comment down below. Let me know what you think about this video. Today we're going to be discussing something that just came in. This guy is superhuman, and who I'm talking about is going to be JALEN Ramsey. I mean, this injury, when it happened, we all thought it was going to be December-ish, maybe not even till the end of the season, playoff time or whatever it is. This guy is returning to practice in October. Now, first thing I want to talk about is there's different times tables for when they think he's going to be able to come back. You have approximately around 3 weeks to get off of IR, or else you stay on IR for the rest of the season. So obviously they're going to take him off of IR. But there's times tables that everybody is coming up with that I think what me personally would want is to shoot for the Raiders game. Now, the reason why I say that, because the guy had a meniscus tear, or it was a slight tear in the meniscus in his knee. These are serious things, and him coming back really this quickly is good, but the game that he would be coming back for would be the Chiefs game. And I know everybody would be like, oh, we need him for that game. Yes and no. First off, you have to understand that even though he's coming back, it's not like he's going to be a full-out play every single down, this is it type of player when he comes back. What you're going to be doing is slowly easing him on. And me personally, I don't think he should come back at the Chiefs game. I think that game, there's going to be too many things going on with Patrick Mahomes, not outside of it, but the way that they play, you know, the offense that they run, I think is going to be so dynamic. I think putting him out there at that span of time is just, I would get scared for something like that. I'd rather him play against the Raiders when the offense isn't so dynamic and he can kind of get his feet wet and slowly come back into the mold. So me personally, I'd rather wait after the bye. You know, he comes back. He'll probably come officially off of IR in a week or so, maybe 2 weeks. And then I definitely see him really getting into the mold towards the Chiefs game, getting into practice, getting into everything that he needs to get into. But I do want to wait till the Raiders game. I think the corners that we have, you know, things are getting better with the defense. It's clear as day. They're getting better. Now, obviously, we're playing the Eagles, so we have to see what they put up against that team. But the defense, even though it's not super elite, amazing like we thought it was going to be, it is getting steadily better over this season. And that's the key here, is that I think, first off, you don't need to rush them out there. Keep the players that you have. I believe that this coming game is going to be a telltale sign for Cam Smith, as Xavier Howard is nursing a groin injury. I'm going to talk more about the injuries when I do the preview later on in the week, but he's nursing a groin injury similar to last year, which that we're going to see what happens with that. And there's a couple of trade options, but he is nursing a similar groin injury that he did last year, which is unfortunate. So it might be time for Cam Smith to be out there. But you know, I want people to really take a step back with that, because we have to see what he can do. Clearly, there's a reason why they're putting Eli Apple and Nickerson over Cam Smith, and warranted. He's a rookie. You know, he's not going to be, you know, the best thing right off the bat. He needs to learn some things. So honestly, we're going to see what Cam Smith has when it comes to play. But as far as JALEN Ramsey, I totally believe that he is going to be a difference maker once he comes back. Obviously, everybody clearly knows that. But I think Vic Fangio really envisioned his style of defense with a corner like JALEN Ramsey. Now, we can kind of say Xavier Howard has been playing good, but I just don't think he's not the number one. He's good when he's the number 2 corner and he can shadow and look at the quarterback and do all that. He's not in his best role at this point in his career, guarding the number 1 receiver. He's just not, that's not his top role. He's good at looking in the backfield. Clearly this year, it is kind of, you know, people aren't throwing him the ball, so don't take anything away from him. People are not throwing him the ball, but Xavier Howard is best when he's the number 2 guy and the other guy shadows the number 1 receiver. That's just the way it's always been. He's always had it like that. When he was younger, he was the number 1 guy, but at this age and where he's at and the injuries starting to happen, he's better shadowing the number 2 and looking in the backfield. So what Jalen Ramsey's going to bring, I think it changes the entire defense. Now, I think there's going to be a couple of trade options that we're going to go into. Jason Sanders renegotiated his contract, which you don't do things like that unless you're looking at people. And I think the two, some people are saying cornerback. I think it's either linebacker or defensive end, because we need someone that can get after the quarterback. That was the whole point of the Vic Fangio defense, and I think none of our players can really get after the quarterback. Jalen Phillips has been injured all year. Bradley Chubb. See, I personally, I'm hearing a lot of things about Patrick Surtain, but I personally want a linebacker. I think the one weakness on this team is the linebacker position, and I believe that it'll fit the Vic Fangio system a lot more if you have a linebacker in this system to be able to balance out that pass coverage. The defensive ends, I think Christian Wilkins is starting to come on. I think Jalen Phillips will come on. He's been dealing with an oblique, but I think he's going to slowly come on. Excuse the kids outside. But I think he's going to slowly come back on, and I think he's going to do his thing. Bradley Chubb is getting there. He's just not getting there. You know what I'm saying? But I do believe that it might be because of the linebacker play. They're just not good at pass coverage, and they're just inconsistent in the back. And the corners as well. Sometimes, they're we don't have our best cornerbacks set. I think the coverage is just not giving them enough time to get there, because a lot of the time, if you look at it, they're getting close. It's just they just don't have enough time to get there, per usual. Now, obviously, Jalen Ramsey will change that for sure. You have X and Jalen Ramsey on either side and Cater in the slot. It will definitely give these guys enough time to get there. But I do believe that, me personally, I want to get a linebacker at this trade deadline. I think we needed an experienced linebacker, somebody that's just good at pass coverage to do what Vic Fangio wanted to do. The problem is he trusted David Long, and David Long it was just a bad bet. He's not turning out to be the guy that we needed. He looked pretty good, but just not turning out to be the dude that we needed at the linebacker position. And that is the problem here, is that it was a bet that we made, and it's just not turning out to be what we wanted. He just doesn't seem to be aware on the field at all times, and that's the issue. There's been plenty of plays where it's clearly, you can tell it was probably his coverage, and he's just not acknowledging it. And it's not his fault, it's his new system and everything. He has to get used to it, but also, he's just not seeing these things. So you need an experienced linebacker to come in and allow that middle of the field to be covered so that our guys have a little bit more time to get to the quarterback. Because I see that as the problem. A lot of the times, there are some times where it just seems like no one's getting to the quarterback, which is iffy, but there are some times where it just seems like the linebackers are just not covering where they need to be. And that's why I believe getting a linebacker will finish what we need for this season. Of course, the next season's coming here and there and all that stuff. Yes, I understand that. But there's definitely a need right now for linebacker. I think to beat the better teams, you need that linebacker to go along with this team. I believe that the Vic Fangio system will run better. Right now he's implementing the blitz just because of who he has, but I believe it becomes better. He gets that middle linebacker that he wants and allows that guy to cover where he needs to be and take a field general position on the field so that the corners can just rely on covering their guys. And, I see a lot of the time the middle of the field is the problem. People are hitting the middle of the field or underneath routes and all that stuff. That seems to be the issue. And a lot of the time it just looks like there might be a zone that somebody just neglected in the middle of the field. And I'm not an expert in football, I'm not down there in the field, but it seems to be that a lot of them look like it might have been the linebacker's assignment to be in that area, and they're not acknowledging it. It's the same thing as a quarterback. A linebacker, a good one, really diagnoses their offense and understands where he needs to be on the field, and that's the thing. The guys that we have, they're not able to do that. They're not able to understand what is happening when the play is moving and where they need to be, where the movements are shifting, where everybody is running. They're not understanding that point, or even just who has behind them so that they can let that guy go and move more towards the inside of the field. They don't really understand how to do that. And that's why I would believe that a linebacker would be key here. But we'll see what happens. Jalen Ramsey's coming back. Man, it's going to be a significant upgrade to this team once he returns. Excuse me. But I just want to give you a quick update. As always, guys, hope you have a great rest of your day. Fins up, baby. Peace. Oh, also going to be live streaming very soon. I'll let everybody know when that's going to happen. I'll live stream for the first time. Just got the camera. But stay tuned. Peace.